What's up? Brandon Lilly here. The other day I made a post on Instagram asking people to submit questions and I would answer them, and there's a lot of really good questions on there and I intend to get through a ton of them. But really there were a couple that stuck out to me and they kind of form one answer. One being, do I still adhere or still believe or recommend the 365 strong mentality? And the other question was, do I think certain things led to my injury? Did I feel like the injury was coming? And to answer that honestly, yeah, I still adhere to the 365 strong mentality, but there's been some adaptation to that. And had I not been injured, I wouldn't be sharing this information, because through the injury I've reflected back on a lot of things that I did wrong, that could have been done better, and the way that I thought about things could have been done better or thought about more clearly. And that's what the Cube Predator evolution has become about, is, you know, basically a training system for me moving forward, and also what I would have changed had I gone backwards. I became so, like all of us do, we want gains and we want progress right now. We always want to handle big weight. We always want to think about, you know, we don't always feel strong if we're not lifting the maximum amount of weight that we can lift. So for me, I was always pushing that envelope. And while I was clear in my description of the 365 strong mentality, saying it's not always 100% strength, but it's raising that shelf of what you can do every single day. Well, that's fine and that's good, but sometimes if the 100% range has to drop, so does that 365 strength performance. So what I'm getting at is, on the Predator system, or the way that I think about training in general now, no matter what you're doing, you need to have phases of your training. You need to have training philosophy that adapts when you're getting near a meet and when you're away from a meet. So I'm going to speak about the Predator because that's what I coach and that's what I believe in. Not saying that it's superior to any other, it's what I do. And what I'm getting at here is, if you think about an animal that hunts, or you think about a predatory system, what happens is they're intelligent. They don't go out hunting all the time. They only hunt when the time is right. And that's kind of the philosophy foundation for the Cube Predator moving forward, in that you only need to be at your 100% strength when the time is right. So what I've done is I've gone back and changed the philosophy of how I do things. In a 10-week system on a cube rotation, you're going to have 3 max days or 3 heavy days per lift. Let's just start with the squat. Let's say at 10 weeks out, you're going to, well, let's do the deadlift, because that's what I'm deadlifting today, and it's on the brain. So at 10 weeks out, you're going to do a 5 rep maximum. Next evolution of heavy days rolls around. 7 weeks out, you're going to do a 3 rep maximum. 4 weeks out, you're going to do a 2 rep maximum. Two more training weeks, a down week for your meet, and then you're going to be back up for a 1 rep maximum on your training day. That makes a lot of sense. It's a good wave. It's a good way to move forward. But that doesn't necessarily bode well for, all year round training or off-season training. What you need to think about then is maybe backing the reps, upping the reps and backing the weight down a little bit. So at week 10, it might be a 10 rep max. At week 7, it'd be an 8 rep max. At week 4, it'd be a 6 rep max. And then at week 1, or the mock meet, would be a 5 rep maximum. That way, whenever you start your next training cycle for the peak, you have a new 5 rep max to try to surpass. So for me, looking back, I was always pushing the envelope 100%, 100%, 100%, because in my mind, 100% of the weight meant 100% effort. Whereas I should have slowed down and thought, 100% effort is more important than 100% weight. And I should have built myself up, taken some time down instead of always pushing. I see guys, that are always doing meets and always, just pushing and pushing and pushing. And that's fine. Some of you guys are younger. T. Cummins is a guy that comes to mind, and I think he's an unbelievable athlete. And he may not be able to compete at the pace that he has in the past. I just know that when I was younger, I probably could have done that kind of schedule. I could have competed all the time and recovered very well from it. But as you get older and as your body starts to break down and have, long-term use injuries, you need to be more aware and more conscious of what your ability is you know, not from day to day, but from week to week, month to month, and year to year. I certainly wish that I had the past 18 months back injury-free to where I could be moving forward rather than, you know, up and down with all the surgeries that I've had. But I've finally gotten to a place mentally where I can accept that I don't have to be at my strongest all the time. Even right now, I'm doing a lot of cardio. This is something else that I wish a lot of lifters would listen to, because I didn't adhere to it until, you know, it was too late. Like, you know, I was on the operating table. I was tachycardic. I was just walking around with this ridiculous blood pressure. You're not going to lose your gains or your strength by just doing simple cardio. One of the guys that I look up to and respect very much is Dan Green. Dan is very adamant about getting outdoors and hiking. You know, something as simple as 20 to 30 minutes a day, walking your dog or just taking a walk around the neighborhood is going to do a lot. I mean, it's going to do so much. Think about how little you're actually on your feet outside the gym. A lot of people, you know, once they get home, they're sitting down, they don't do any exercise, they don't do anything outdoors anymore. So if you force yourself into that routine, your body will adjust to it. You might go, you know, you might notice some soreness in the beginning, but eventually your body's going to adjust to it and you're going to be just fine. I would like to see myself work up to, you know, a level of an hour of cardio a day. You know, it may mean eating more calories or something like that, but you look at some of the incredible people that we have, you know, Alex Vieta, 415 mile, 700-pound squat, 700-pound deadlift, and he's in phenomenal condition. I'm not trying to compare myself to that, but I'm trying to condition you to understand that what we've always thought about strength is adapting. You know, we're learning more about the body. I'm learning more about myself. People are learning more about training systems all the time. So take inspiration from everywhere. Look around and see, you know, that people are doing amazing things, and why can't you do those things? I limited myself so severely by saying I'm just a power lifter to 3 lifts. You know, I became good at 3 lifts. I used to say I'm a strength athlete. I did, you know, strongman, bodybuilding, Highlands Games, you know, arm wrestling, whatever it was. I wanted to do everything, and maybe I might not have gotten as high, you know, in the world of powerlifting. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because in the end, and I can tell you there are a lot of guys at the very top that are going to agree with me, at some point it no longer is your hobby, it becomes job-like. And when that happens, you lose a little bit of that joy factor. And actually, coming back from this injury, I was talking to Donnie Thompson this morning, coming back from this injury has given me a lot more joy in the gym again, because there's not such an expectation. The only expectation that I have is to go in and give 100% effort and do the absolute best that I can do that day. And if you're doing that, no matter if you're a 300-pound squatter or you're a 1,000-pound squatter, as long as you're doing the best that you can every single day, you're going to get results, and you're going to be better down the road. So wherever you are, own it. Just get better every single day. Adapt to that 365 strength mentality of being strong and being the best that you can be on that day. But that doesn't always mean that you'll be the best you ever were. Thanks a lot, and I'll get to more questions, and I'll get to making more videos. Thanks for checking it out.